Hello everyone. So I just saw Sonic the Hedgehog, and 3 hours ago, according to what was it? Variety, Polygon, and CBN. Sonic's raising to $55 million right now. That was 3 hours ago. But to actually understand Sonic the Hedgehog movie, we would have to go back in time to when Nintendo and Sega were battling it out for the home console. So then, who would actually reign supreme as the home console? Sonic the Hedgehog is a platform game developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega for the Sega Genesis console. Mario was the flagship for Nintendo in the late 80s. It was released in North America in June 1991, so nearly 30 years old our little blue hedgehog friend is. And in PAL regions in Japan the following month. Though in Japan it actually took off, Sonic the Hedgehog took off like anything really. It was like, we have something to actually go against Mario. And it actually was against Mario, because Mario at the time was the leading #1 game until the Sega Genesis and Sega Mega Drive actually hit, and they actually came pre-packaged with Sonic the Hedgehog game. Some were. That was when, if you pre-ordered, I think. That's gone like back nearly 30 years ago. The game features an anthropomorphic hedgehog named Sonic in a quest to defeat Dr. Robotnik. In the movie, Dr. Robotnik is actually played by Jim Carrey, but we'll get to that later. A scientist who has imprisoned animals in robots and stolen the powerful Chaos Emeralds. We'll touch on that in the movie section. Gameplay involved collecting rings as a form of health, and a simple control scheme with jumping and attacking controlled by a single button. Though the movement was actually controlled by the D-pad itself, so left and right, no up, down. Like I said, development began in 1990 when Sega ordered its developers to create a game featuring a mascot for the company, so Sonic became the mascot of Sega. A little blue hedgehog furry friend is actually pretty good. After considering a number of suggestions, the developers decided on a blue hedgehog and named themselves Sonic Team. We see the point here? We see the cross-section point? This is all on Wikipedia and such. You can actually go and search it up yourself to match their character. Sonic the Hedgehog's design for fast gameplay was influenced by games by Super Mario series creator Shigeru Miyamoto. Arigato, Mr. Miyamoto, for bringing us Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers. And every other Nintendo game in existence, like Donkey Kong Jr., and a number of others as well, including Star Fox. I know you Star Fox fans are watching this. Too. Sonic the Hedgehog uses a novel technique that allows Sonic's sprite to roll along curved scenery, which originated in a tech demo created by programmer Yuki Naga, I should say. Is it Naga or Naka? I'm going to say Naka, because that's what it looks like and how it should actually be said. Sonic the Hedgehog was well received by critics, who praised its visual, audio, and gameplay. It was also commercially successful, establishing the Genesis as a key player in the 16-bit era, and allowed it to compete with Nintendo and their Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you see where I'm getting to. Because the home console war was between Sega Genesis, Nintendo. We have Sega with Sonic, Nintendo with Super Mario, Mario Kart, and everything else. Though, to be fair, we did actually have Road Rage and everything else on the Sega Genesis itself. The game imported a number of times and inspired several clones, a successful franchise, and adaptations into other media, aka cartoons, which is virtually Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon that I know of from the, what is it? Oh, it's very retro now. Also, the movie makes a few references to another Sonic cartoon that I will get to. Yeah, it is often cited as one of the greatest video games of all time. I am taking that to heart because I will literally say that it is one of the greatest video games of all time. Because, surprisingly enough, you can actually import a cheat and you can get to the last level. Gameplay, Sonic the Hedgehog is a 2D side-scrolling platform video game. Gameplay centers around Sonic's ability to run at high speed through levels that include springs, slopes, bottomless pits, and vertical drops. Watch out for the spikes at the bottom. The levels... Oh, and vertical loops. Those are fun. Like, really fun. The levels are populated with hazards in the form of robots inside Dr. Robotnik has trapped animals. Destroying a robot frees the creature, but is not necessary to complete the game. The player must also avoid touching spikes. And one rule, don't touch the spikes in Sonic the Hedgehog. Falling into bottomless pits and being crushed by walls, moving walls or platforms. Ouch. Remind me of Mario sometimes. Blah blah blah. Well, I was drowning. That's a given. Which may be prevented by breathing air bubbles from vents. I never encountered vents. Sonic's main means of attack is spin attack, in which he curls into a ball and rapidly spins his body, damaging enemies and certain obstacles upon collision. This may be performed by jumping or by rolling on the ground. So then, players given 3 lives. So the 3 lives which can be lost via colliding with hazards and such. There were checkpoints that allowed Sonic to return the most recent activated post when he loses a life. Time resets when he returns to the checkpoint. Game ends when the player runs out of lives. So around each level, gold rings, collecting 100 rewards to play with an extra life. Kind of like the 1-up mushroom and the collecting 100 coins does in Mario. So there are some similarities, but in Sonic you didn't have a 1-up mushroom. If he was hit, loses a life, but if you have coins, you just rings, I should say, you just lose the rings. But if you have no rings, it's virtually you lose a life. The game split into 6 pinnacle zones you had, followed by a short final zone. Each main zone has its own visual style. So it was all split up into 3 acts. Each zone's 3rd act, the player confronts Dr. Robotnik for a boss fight. Oh, excuse me. So, often if Sonic reaches the end of any zone's 1 act or act 2 while holding less than 50 rings, a large ring appears through which he can jump to a special stage, and special stage Sonic is continually curled in his spin attack animation and bounces off bumpers and walls to a fully rotating maze. That was actually tricky. That was the hardest thing in Sonic. Plot attempt to steal 6 Chaos Emeralds and harness the power of the evil Dr. Ivo Robotnik, aka Eggman, aka Pain in Butt, has trapped the animal inhabitants of South Island. and aggressive robots and stationary metal capsules. They control Sonic, who aims to halt robotics plans, yet freeing his animal friends. We'll get to that in the movie section. Development, background, character design, order its in-house development. 1990, Sega ordered its in-house development studio to develop a game featuring a mascot for the company. This was a position already held by the creator Alex Kidd, but he was considered too similar to Nintendo's mascot Mario. It's a me, a Mario. I'm not doing that ever again. Sega competition with Nintendo, who was dominant at the time, particularly after the release of the successful Super Mario Bros. 3. Sega wanted a foothold in the industry, although the company had some limited success with Genesis ports of its arcade games. Remember Battlestar? You had Galaga and such, Pac-Man, and virtually everything. The team developed ideas for characters and an engine and gameplay mechanics. Development emphasized speed, so Sega eliminated character designs not associated with fast animals, as well as fast creatures like kangaroos and squirrels. One idea, a rabbit able to grasp objects with ears that could actually move. Kind of like Bugs Bunny? I have no idea. Showed promise at first, but was too complex for available hardware. Kind of like Bucky O'Hare. The team narrowed its search to animals that can roll into a ball. The idea of an attacking move, designers then realized that it would not seem aggressive enough, so they focused on two animals with spikes: armadillos and hedgehogs. The hedgehog character, first proposed by Noto Oshima, prevailed, although the armadillo would later become a basis for Mighty the Armadillo. Ooh, there's a nice little character, who later appeared in 1993 Sega Sonic the Hedgehog. Oshima has since admitted that he created Sonic's basic design by combining Felix the Cat's head with Mickey Mouse's body. We are not going to talk about that. I'm going to explain that his inspiration for creating Sonic was Sega wanting a game that could be successful in the United States and a new mascot. Concurrently, he was working with Nara with a prototype game. Sorry about that. And Oshima was thinking of designs with the toy and stationery department. Before Sonic was chosen, other characters including a rabbit and a bearded man who ultimately became Dr. Robotnik. Bearded, I think, mustache. This is a beard. This here is a mustache. Beard, mustache. Well, great. One summer, Oshima went on vacation in New York, taking sketches with him. He went to Central Park and asked the locals their opinions on him, and Sonic was the favourite. Oshima explained that this was because he wanted support for his ideas. Sonic was originally teal-coloured, or light shaded blue, but he was changed to dark blue so he wouldn't stand out against certain backgrounds. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. The backgrounds and to match the Sega logo. His shoes had buckles through the inspiration of Michael Jackson's boots on the album cover for Bad. Well, that's a nice tie-in. That's a very nice tie-in to a Michael Jackson album. And the red and white colour scheme of Santa Claus. Yeah, we're getting a little too far on that one. Not saying it was bad, but it works. We'll get to that in the movie section. Who Oshima saw as the most famous character in the world. Fair enough. Sonic's spikes were emphasized to make him look sleeker, and he was given the ability to spin while jumping, so attacking and jumping could be controlled with one button. The new character, who was originally named Mr. Needle Mouse, but the 18 member changed his name to Sonic. Mr. Needle Mouse. Isn't there one that actually looks like a needle mouse in Pokemon or something? Oh yeah, it is. Orochimaru. That's the Needle Mouse. Named Sonic and took the name Sonic Team. Orochimaru stated that Sonic was chosen because it represented speed. Well, Sonic does actually represent speed and represents it very, very well. Ideas proposed to fresh out the character, including placing him in a rock band. Yeah! Rock band Sonic! We'll get to that in the cartoons. We'll get to Rock Band Sonic in the cartoons. Giving him vampire fangs. Ooh! I like where that idea was going. Until I actually seen and giving him a human girlfriend. Yeah, remember that drastic Sonic game that was on the Xbox 360 and such? It just bombed completely. Yeah, the girlfriend name was Madonna as what they were going to go for. That's the America scrapped his idea that keep his identity simple. Yes, simple. We can't have him as a vampire, a rock band vampire. I like that idea. I like that idea very much. Can we get a Sonic Rock Band vampire artwork, please? I would like to see what that actually entails and looks like. The talents ended up being called Dr. Eggman in Japan and Dr. Robotnik in other regions as a result of a dispute between Sega America and Japanese divisions. I would like Dr. Eggman because Dr. Robotnik just... I have a quarrel with both names. I will just settle for one, which is Dr. Eggman. Concept program, I'm not going to go over because as someone who actually has studied game design and such, I do know what it is like. Because there's a code name here called Defeat Mario that Nara and Oshima began work, but encountered problems. Rabbit proved hard to program. Catching items and throwing them causes the action's rhythm to break. And started with the rabbit. Stated the rabbit was not suitable for his game engine, and he also wanted the game to be playable with only one button. So there were problems in making the game. Position of a dot matrix. Right to move smoothly on a curve by determining its position with a dot matrix. Ooh, that's a bit technical there. Let's say originally intended to work on the game for 3 months due to the delay of his planned move to the United States by the outbreak of the Gulf War, but was engrossed in the project for nearly a year. So we have Yakuza. So thumbs up to him. This game was influenced, let's say, the designs for the levels were intended to attract both hardcore and casual gamers by intriguing occasional challenge set pieces into the mostly accessible level design. The color scheme was influenced by work of pop artists. I don't know if I'm going to be saying the first name correctly. Izan Suganaki, or Suzuki, I should say. And the aesthetics of Green Hill were influenced by the geography of California. Not going to be getting into all the details. Just that we do have a few side characters, a sidekick, Miles Tells Power. This is in Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The Sonic team also intended to include a sound test with animation of Sonic breakdancing into a band of animal characters, including a crocodile keyboardist, who was later introduced in the series as Vector the Crocodile in Knuckles Chaotix in 1995. Sound test was scrapped for time reasons, and Naru used the feed-up memory to add the Sega chant used in TV commercials as a start-up sound. That's actually pretty good. Throwback to the old Sega commercials. Naga's relationship with Sega was tense during this time, and he received little credit for his work. He left the company shortly after the game's release, although Sega of America hired him later. Before leaving, however, he defied Sega's probation of developer credits by displaying a few names in black text on a black background, identified only by looking at the code. Said that level design was a major challenge. He created maps much wider than normal and tried to ensure players would not get lost. It took him around 8 months to develop Green Hill Zone, as he kept restarting from scratch. Oh, I definitely know that feeling. Music. Sega director Fuji Mangashi had connections in the music industry and suggested his friend Yozo Yakama write the Sonic score. However, the Sonic team did not think Yoro's music would fit, and so commissioned Masaru Norio, bassist and songwriter for the J-pop band Dreams Come True. Noro said he was surprised when asked to create the soundtrack, as he had just started with Dreams Come True. He accepted, as he was inspired by the team's desire to outperform Nintendo. Nagara said the hardest part of creating the soundtrack was the number of songs that could play concurrently. He was limited to 4 and said that his lack of knowledge of music on computers made it impossible. He wrote the soundtrack concurrently with the Dreams Come True album, Million Kisses. So we virtually have a game that is concurrently with the Dreams Come True album, Million Kisses, that ties into it. On October 19, 2011, after 20 years after the release of the 3-disc compilation of music, the Sonic Hedgehog 2 was released in Japan. The first disc features original tracks from both games. The second contains, and this is the most important part, Nakamura's demo recordings before they were programmed into the Genesis, and the third has songs by Dreams Come True and their associated Akon remixes. Ooh, I would love to get that set. No, seriously, I would love to get that set. That is gaming music. I love that. Packaging release. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Game package illustrator Akira Wannabe said that his goal was to make the characters colourful, using clear lines and graduation to finish them neatly. According to Wannabe, the developers asking to create a package design similar to Pop Art, without being particularly to conventional packages, something original and stylish. No, kind of like this is original and stylish, with the name Akuna Matata. This is actually from last year's Father's Day set. I was after a new pair of PJs, and this was the only one that I like. So those who actually say, oh, but you're not the father, I don't care. I needed a new pair of PJs. These were the best quality that they had, and they had my size. Because I'm broad-shouldered, and I have to wear 3XL. Anything lower than that, and it's, you better be prepared to have it made in China or something. The game was not revealed until January 1991. It's International Consumer Electronics Show, also known as E3 nowadays. because Sega wanted to wait until the right time because they saw an opportunity to steal the show. We're stealing the show from Nintendo. Which they actually did. They actually stole the show in 1991. At the show, Sonic the Hedgehog was believed to be the most impressive game shown and won CES Award for innovation. Sega Romero CEO Tom Clancy wanted reassurances that the character would not fail. The global head of marketing, Al Neeson, became involved and playtested the game across the United States with Mario fans. They were shown Mario and then played Sonic the Hedgehog. 8% preferred Sonic the Hedgehog, and the game was shown at the 1991 Summer Consumer Electronics Show. It was released in North America on June 23rd, 1991. So you can actually tell when the game actually was released. And in PAL regions in Japan the following month. Sega Romero packaged it with American Genesis consoles, replacing Altered Beast. So if you do actually have a Sega Genesis console that was packaged with Altered Beast, please keep that. This tactic enables Sega of America to sell 15 million Genesis units. Genesis owners who bought their console before the Switch could request free copies of Sonic the Hedgehog by mail. That was an ingenious move. By Sega, because it virtually put Sonic the Hedgehog into players' hands. Sega Romero created a large-scale marketing campaign promoting Sonic as its mascot. So they should have. We have the 8-bit version of Sonic, by Agent, released in 1991 for Sega's 8-bit consoles, the Master System, and Game Gear. Its plot and gameplay mechanics are similar to the 16 version, though some level themes and digital assets are different, and Chaos Emeralds are scattered throughout the levels rather than special stages. Gameplay as a whole is specified, level design is flatter, and has a larger focus on exploration. No vertical loops, and Sonic cannot recollect his rings after being hit. The game had a different soundtrack composed by Yozo Koroshi, which includes adaptations of music from the original version. It was the final game released for the Master System in North America. The Master System was re-released for Wii's Virtual Console service in North America and Europe in August 2008, which means you actually could play the original Sonic the Hedgehog. Game Gear version was re-released for Nintendo's 3DS, which is this. This is the 3DS. As you can see, I have Badge Arcade, which I will play later. On June 13, 2013, and included also an unlockable game in Sonic Adventure DX Director's Card for GameCube and Windows, and Sonic Mega Collection Plus for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and Windows. Though actually the PS2 is actually null and voided now. Sony doesn't want anything to do with the PlayStation 2 anymore. You can't even get parts for it unless you actually go for the aftermarket stuff. And same with the original Xbox. Genesis marked the game's 15th anniversary. A port of the Game Boy Advance Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis was released on November 14, 2006. While the port is mostly identical to the original, it includes several new features not seen in the original Genesis release, such as the ability to save game progress and the inclusion of the spin dash. This version, unlike others, received poor reviews, like a Metacritic score of 33 out of 100. Few complaints concern its poor conversion to the Game Boy Advance, resulting in a bad performance and poor implementation of the original music and gameplay. Oh well. 2013 remaster, remember that one? Mobile port on iOS, May 15, 2013, with an Android version following the next day. The version was developed by Christian Taxman Whitehead and Tim Tomerly of headcanon from scratch using the retro engine originally used in the 2011 remaster of Sonic CD. If you don't know what Sonic CD is, it's the complete thing. Complete collection or something. The port features several enhancements such as widescreen graphics, the ability to spin dash, and an additional special stage, time attack mode, and the unlockable option to play as Tails or Knuckles, which we'll get to. 3D Sonic the Hedgehog, Nintendo 3DS version. I can't believe the 3DS is actually 7 years old. 3D Classic Lines in 2013. Is it? Hang on. 3DS can't be 7 years old. It's got to be closer to something else. I have no idea. Compilation releases: Sonic Compilation 1995 for the Genesis. It also appeared in Sonic Jam for the Sega Saturn. Sonic Mega Collection for the Nintendo GameCube. Sonic Mega Collection Plus 2004 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, the original Xbox. Sega Genesis Collection for the PlayStation 2 and PSP. Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection 2009 for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Sonic Classic Collection 2010 for the Nintendo 3DS. Oculus Arcade for the Oculus Rift. And Sega Genesis Classics 2018 for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Downloadable releases included the Sonic Hedgehog had been available for 3 major 7th generation video game consoles. It was part of the Wii Virtual Console as a service 2006 introduction, and was released for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network shortly afterwards. The game was released for the iPod Classic, the original iPod, iPod Video, and video-compatible iPod Nano models in 2007. And for Apple's iOS in April 2009. Sonic the Hedgehog became available on GameTap in September 2009. In October 2010, it was released on Windows via Steam. The game was ported to Android and released in December 2012. Additionally, it was an unlockable reward in the console versions of Sonic Generations. It was also made available on the Sega Forever service on iOS and Android in June 2017, 3 years ago. A port for Nintendo Switch was released on September 20th, 2018, as part of the Sega Airs line of release. It added features including the ability to use moves from Sonic 2 and Sonic Mania, a challenge mode, a time attack for the first stage, and features from the 3DS re-releases of the game and a sequel. Cancelled versions of Sonic. US Gold acquired the rights to make a version of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Amara ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC, and the Atari ST personal computers, but these went unreleased. Several screenshots exist, some of which resemble the 8-bit version. An enhanced port for the Sega CD was also planned, but was scrapped in favor of the Sonic CD. That concludes part 1. Because I'm not going to go into the rankings and everything else. Legacy is, he virtually came out on top because inspired similar platformers starring adult mascots including Bugsy, Era the Acrobat, James Pond Free, Earthworm Jim, Zero the Cosmic Squirrel, and Radical Rex, including developers of Crash Bandicoot and Gex, citing Sonic as a major inspiration. Media franchise with first made sequel Sonic Hedgehog 2. Is also on Dreamcast. Series ventured into fighting, racing, role-playing, sports games, and also expanded into anime, manga, cartoons, comic books, novels, and toys. Sonic the Hedgehog is one of the best-selling video game franchises of all time, with over 140 million copies sold or downloaded worldwide across consoles, PCs, mobile phones, and tablets by May 2014. The game's first level, Green Hill Zone, we'll get to that in the second part, has been seen in later other games such as Sonic Adventures 2, Sonic Generations, Sonic Mania, Special Sonic Forces, and Super Smash Bros. Series, which I am actually going to be getting for the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, there were pirate versions and such. Sonic 1 Boom, a ROM hack which implements Sonic's redesigns from Sonic Boom, which is an animated series. For to actually translate Sonic the Hedgehog in Japan, it's Sonic was Hedgehog. I'm gonna butcher this part anyway, so it might as well be Hedgehog, which is the Japanese version for Sonic the Hedgehog. These are just the notes. Be known as Dr. Eggman Japanese versions. So according to Yugen, the Sonic team was an unofficial name for the studio within Sega that was used during the development of the game. It became the official title when Nights into Dreams was released in 1996. So, thank you for joining me on the first part of Sonic the Hedgehog history. We'll continue in the second part probably later on today. I do have other things to do, and I do need to actually research a number of things that were in that Wikipedia that I just read, and skimmed over and summarized a few bits and pieces. So, cartoon, books, toys, manga, and films for the next lot. So, please stay tuned. Also, enjoy this. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be doing another one. So, I might get in touch with Toy Galaxy Dean. See if he can whip something else up as well. So, I hope you enjoy your day and such. I will be back later with more Sonic history, because we are actually closing in on Sonic's 30th anniversary, which is actually next year, and I kind of want to put all this information out. So, do enjoy.